How's it going, everyone? We've got some notable PlayStation updates to go over in this video. PlayStation's China Joy lineup for 2024 has been announced, so we'll talk about that. Bit of an update on CD Projekt Red's development process. I don't think it's too surprising as far as their lineup for upcoming titles, but just to give you guys some clarification, we'll talk about that. And also, unfortunately, it looks like Crash 5 has been cancelled, and that game was never obviously announced, but it is what it is as far as Activision and getting out games that people really want. But Crash 5, I think, is a game that a lot of people would have want, but for now, I don't think it'll be happening, so we'll talk that at the end of this video. Right off the top, Sony has revealed their China Joy 2024 lineup, and oh my god, is that Lost Soul Aside? No, am I getting you guys excited? There ain't no Lost Soul Aside here. Let's go over the titles. You got AI Limit, which, to be perfectly honest, AI Limit does look like a pretty cool game. We did a video on that when that game was initially revealed, and I think that game looks like a slick action RPG. You've got Awaken Astral Blade, Convallaria, which has been followed on for quite a while, Daba Land of Water Scar, that game also looks kind of interesting, Evo Tinction, and Exil Edge. That is coming from the China Hero Project directly. Now, China Hero Project titles aren't necessarily exclusives, but generally speaking, they'll end up being like console exclusives. So yeah, there you go with that as far as the China Hero Project titles. First party, you have Astrobot, Helldivers 2, Horizon Forbidden West, Ratchet Rift Apart, and then third party is a bunch of superfluous titles. EA Sports FC 24, Elden Ring is in there, Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, Gundam Breaker 4, Immortals Phoenix Rising, Infinity Nikki, Let's School, NBA 2K, Phantom Blade Zero, maybe I shouldn't say it's just totally superfluous, but Phantom Blade Zero is in there, Rusty Rabbit. I always forget that Phantom Blade Zero is not within the PlayStation family. It has no exclusivity ties whatsoever, so that is a little interesting. Rusty Rabbit, Stride Nova, Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream, that time I got reincarnated as a slime, Isekai Chronicles, and Wuthering Waves, which that has been confirmed for PlayStation 5, so that's pretty cool as well if you're into those free-to-play gacha style games. Wuthering Waves is another one, but there are definitely some cool games in the China Hero Project. I just think if you guys watch our channel, when you think about China Hero Project and PlayStation, you'll think about Lost Soul Aside. And I get it. I see in the comment section people oftentimes say, it's being done by a really small studio. It's being done by a studio that it started as a one-person project, so on and so forth. Guys, this game got revealed like almost a decade ago. At some point, you gotta at least give us some sort of updates. At least tell us the game is still in development. At least tell us the game's making some sort of progress. I get it that they probably want to announce the release date the next time they give an update on the game, because at this point, it's just getting fairly comical. I think when a game's been in development this long and it's been promoted quite often. I know Sony came into the picture later into the development of the game, but you get the idea. Like, I don't think there's a lot of defending the status of Lost Soul Aside. Like, it's fairly comical, and it's reaching into Duke Nukem Forever territory. But, you know, hopefully it'll be out. I was foolish enough to actually get my hopes slightly up, thinking, hey, maybe it'll be a surprise 2024 title, given that, you know, Sony's lineup this year is pretty atrocious. Lost Soul Aside would be a game that would really give them a shot in the arm. You know, when you are dropping a lot of these garbage live service games, getting some third-party titles, which they have been working on. They got Stellar Blade, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but for this latter portion of the year, yeah, Astrobot looks cool, Horizon looks cool, but a big-budget single-player game is really what a lot of people would get excited about as far as a Sony title goes. And Lost Soul Aside could have been exactly that if there was a surprise release. I was trying to cling on to a little bit of hope that PlayStation's fall wouldn't be absolutely trash, but in this case, you know, it's not trash. You've got the Horizon coming out, Lego Horizons, I should say. You've got Astrobot coming out, and they got gifted a console exclusive in Black Myth Wukong, which I just think was absolutely huge for them. I don't see a lot of people really talking about that, but that is a big deal, all things considered. But as far as China Joy goes, keep an eye on AI Limit. Convallaria is a game that people have been looking forward to for a while. Evo Tinction as well. There's definitely some interesting titles that are going to be showcased. It's just when we talk about China Joy and we don't hear about Lost Soul Aside, it is a little bit of a bummer. Maybe, who knows, Tokyo Game Show's coming up. There's other events that are going to be rolling out, but Yeah, hopefully we get an update on that. If Sony does do a showcase in the latter portion of the year, sometime in the fall, maybe we can get an announcement. Why am I even like hoping for an announcement? Like, come on, dudes. It's been like a decade at this point. Just bury the desire, bury the hope. All right, moving on from that. Another couple of games you shouldn't be expecting to hear about for quite a while, as far as CD Projekt Red is concerned. The Witcher 1 remake and Cyberpunk 2077 sequel. The Witcher 4 is the most advanced of its projects currently, and this was noted on the Flow Games podcast. Look, this isn't all too surprising, and it is one of the unfortunate realities in gaming when you hear about a CDPR rolling out their roadmap for video games and you see, oh my goodness, they're working on a new Witcher title, oh my goodness, they're working on a Witcher 1 remake, oh my goodness, a Cyberpunk 2077 sequel is gonna happen. All of those things were, at least to some extent, expected. However, knowing that all of those things are within CDPR's idea of doing, and then also they're gonna do a new IP, all of that is exciting at a surface level. Then you realize the reality of game development, and each of these games taking 5 to 7 years to develop for. It's a reality when you talk about these games, not to get morbid, when you hear about trilogies kicking off and whatnot. If you're gonna be alive to see the conclusion of these trilogies, of these story-driven games, because if each game is taking 7 to 10 years to develop, which is not a stretch, and game development is just getting longer and longer, look at how long it took something like Starfield to come out, that is a real thought. And when you look at something like, for example, and I've been talking about it a lot in previous videos, it's like Legend of Heroes. Legend of Heroes is about to celebrate its 20th anniversary, and it's a connected franchise, and that franchise puts out games regularly, and it's still ongoing. Then you look at, obviously, bigger scale games, but if you're looking at something like Legend of Heroes, people are concerned about, is this franchise ever gonna end? And it looks like it is. But then you talk about something like, you know, a new trilogy of modern games kicking off. It takes a long, long time. And this is going to end up being probably one of these shorter franchises, but Horizon was scheduled to be a trilogy. Horizon probably started development in 2013, and we'll get the final game in 2028. Like, I think that would be pretty likely, 2027, 2028, if that is the final game, and at least that trilogy. In the case of CDPR titles, I would think it's going to be even longer. I don't think we're going to get the next Witcher title until 2027, 2028, around that range. And then you're talking about a sequel to Cyberpunk 2077. Guys, I legitimately think you're looking at like 2033 for that game. So, you know, it is a little bit insane when we're talking about games coming out in the mid-2030s or early 2030s, but that's just kind of the reality in the gaming world. So when you see, you know, CDPR is incredibly talented, and I even had some enjoyment out of Cyberpunk 2077 when it initially came out, but obviously a pretty remarkable turnaround that game's made. But when they put out their roadmap, yes, exciting to an extent, and then you realize some of these games are still probably a decade out, if they're even ever gonna come out. You know, it's just something to consider, and one of the disappointing realities. Maybe at some point they can figure out a way to speed up game development, but for now, I think you're just gonna deal with, you know, they've got one game in development, they've got other titles that they're planning on, and they are segmenting their development into other development studios and whatnot, so maybe it'll be a quicker turnaround. But as far as a Cyberpunk 2077 sequel, that is affirmatively gonna be after the development of the new Witcher game, so that's going to take a long, long time. Lastly, a game that unfortunately won't ever be coming to fruition, at least not for the moment being. I shouldn't say ever, because things go in development, they get canceled, and it was noted by Nicholas Cole, it is not Spyro, but someday folks will hear about the Crash 5 that never was, and it's gonna break hearts. So that is a little bit unfortunate. This is coming from a developer, character design, and illustration worked on Crash Bandicoot 4, Spyro Reignited, Sonic Prime, Lorcana, so on and so forth, but Crash 4 was a fantastic game. I don't know how that game did from a commercial standpoint, but it was a really, really well done platformer, and I would love to see more games like that. I would love to see Spyro make a comeback, but if Crash 5 got canned, that is a little bit of a bummer, to say the least. But that is going to do it for me again. Sorry to raise the alarms, or false alarms there. Lost Soul Aside doesn't look like it'll be making its presence at China Joy 2024. Maybe, unless it's, you know, a surprise, but it doesn't look like that'll be the case. CDPR, they've got a lot of things cooking right now. Just do keep in mind, some of the stuff, especially when you look at a Cyberpunk 2077 sequel, I don't think that's going to be out till very earliest 2029, and more likely than not, I think 2030, 2031 at the is more likely, and I could easily see something like a 2033 as well. And that's insane to think about. And Crash 5, unfortunately, seemingly canceled before it even saw an official reveal. That's gonna do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.